Hello, everybody.
Recently, many friends
Said
have
that this
asked
farm
me,
video is updated very
because
slowly.
this house has been under renovation recently,
That we are basically. This is the house from the inside out. Everything inside the outer wall was removed. There's only one frame left. So this whole renovation process, it also takes 2 to 3 months. So there is no way to live on the farm yet. Wait for this house to be around May. At the end of May, after all renovations are completed, we can live there. After living in the past, it will continue to be updated later. More farm videos. How about today? And I'm just going to share it briefly. Some of the process of renovating our house. What about the other one? Many friends have asked about buying this farm. About building a house, about agricultural land, and the property tax on the house, and so on. In this video, I will also briefly share with you. So let me show you. This is the farm that we bought. Bring your own old house. This should be a house built in the 1960s when we bought it. The owner of this house has passed away, so he's an equivalent of an inheritance. We are buying an inheritance, so we bought SS. What is the current state of this house? What is the state when we take over? So his condition is very bad. There is a nurse inside. The people on this farm live there temporarily. It's also a mess when you go in. So, in fact, it will feel very bad to see this house, but we think this house still has a lot of potential. Does it belong to his structure? He's a 3-bedroom. And the kitchen, and the living room, the bathroom, his structure is still good. Yes, it's over 2,000 feet, about 200 square meters. So there's a bedroom downstairs. Hey, this house is like this. The master is gone. This is handed over to this caregiver here. It's true that he doesn't cherish it very much. Inside this, there's just no way to see. Generally, we all know, if you want to sell your house for a good price, you have to come specially and carefully. You have to dress up before people see it. It was a mess. You might have to clean up a bit. But look at this house. That's it now. We won't move his contents anymore. If we buy it, it's all he has. So inspection is this kind of inspection. We don't have to do a house inspection. We are almost thought the house was going to be torn down entirely. Leave only the frame. After all the demolition, all the renovations will be built. Come up on the second floor. He has an open space first. Then there are 2 bedrooms on the left and right. You look at the first floor from the second floor. He has a high ceiling on the entire first floor. The sense of space is pretty good. And he has a fireplace. From this window on the second floor. The view of the oak forest up ahead. As soon as you close your eyes, it's still very beautiful. A
very simple balcony.
This we plan. It's about rebuilding this balcony. If you want to expand it, it will be very beautiful. This balcony is just too rudimentary now. Then go down the stairs. The north face now. It's his yard. This is probably the yard on the north side, because summers in Texas can be very hot. So here it is. In the summer, maybe the usage rate of the yard in the north will be higher. In winter, the sun is more sunny. It's the benefit of the yard on the south side. The rate will be higher. So what about this house? Does it really belong to the north-south transparency? It will be very convenient to use now. What about our first step in repairing the house? Just a local contractor? Then the contractor. Then he is here. A lot of farmers' houses have been built in this area. So, we enlisted him to do all the work for us. We pay him labor costs. Then we buy all the materials ourselves. And then we put this project, the whole repair. The task of decorating is handed over to him. This contractor from Mexico. He's kind of funny. He came to America alone. Then he sent all the relatives in his family. All brought to America too. Just follow him. He came to pick up the job. He had a carpenter, a plumber, an electrician. There's a roofer. There is someone who does this. Is this the set that the whole house needs? Except for special professional. Just outside of looking for outside cooperation. He can do everything else. So they have this one in Mexico. The way a small team works together, it's all family. Just like the lawnmower in my house. All the relatives in his family can do anything. He did the watering system. He cut the trees where they needed to be cut. The roof needs to be repaired. Need to fix this and basically fix that. I called him. He can do it all. Can help me find all kinds of. His relatives will do it. This thing is a bit like ours in China. There is a capable person in a village. You can bring relatives and friends from all walks of life. Our house is now basically, it's outside, inside, all to be dismantled. Then all the windows have to be replaced. Then this position, we're going to make it a push-pull-push. The door that opens to go out. After this house is demolished. Just found all these silver Thor. A sealed, insulated layer. All have to be replaced. It's basically literally a skeleton. His house is because of an old house from the 1960s. The stock price is still very good. Look at American houses. It's basically all pure wood. This structure is covered. So the United States builds this pure wood. This little detached house, it's very fast. If you start from scratch, probably 3 to 5 months, you can build a small house. But like ours, it's completely refurbished. If the recover frame is still there, and the plan is basically 2 to 3 months. So we basically entered at the end of January, determined the plan, and then we caught up with this one in Texas. It was a blizzard, so the work was suspended for a while, and they're starting all over again. Probably we are optimistic and crash should be in mid-May. It can be done. Then there are many friends who want to ask, just say on the farm, what kind of approval process do you need to build a house? This is building a house in including America. Ourselves wanting to renovate our own house with the neighbors outside the house. What relevant words will you see? We usually have to apply with the community. Places like this farm in the countryside. He's going to be with this one we're in. The county government applies. Some are to apply with this town government. If there's a soup shift. So, just go with your community. Made an application. Generally, it is not particularly obtrusive when you want to build a house. That is a house with a similar style to everyone else. There is no obstacle to applying. Generally, there is no obstacle. You need to set aside this time. What about every community? Or the town government like the soup shop? Yes, this one. The content of all applications for approval is also different. So which ones need to be applied for? It still depends on the local information. Our farm. Basically because we're not going to recover. The house itself exists. We're just renovating it. Although it may be in the color of the roof and the color of the exterior wall. We will change it to our favorite color. But this one does not require special reporting. We can start work directly because it's a farm after all. That neighbors can't see each other. It's you who changed the color. It's also in your yard, far from your neighbors. Basically, you won't affect the neighbors. So this one doesn't need special approval either. Then there's this property about the farm. Tax, I talked about it in the previous video. This is the farm. If you buy this farm, it's agricultural land, because he has applied before. If it is agricultural land, you don't need to reapply. You buy it directly according to the agricultural land tax relief policy to pay taxes. It's basically agricultural land. Is exempt from property tax. But in housing for people living on agricultural land, this part of the asset is subject to property tax. So this part of the house is appraised assets. For this small part, it is necessary to pay the property tax separately. As for the rate of property tax, because every week, every region is different. So his tax rates are completely different. Like California, his property tax is just over 1%. Like Texas, basically above 2.5%. 3% and 4% are different in every place. So when you buy a house, these are all to be understood clearly. Also, the cleansing of this agricultural tax is expensive. Culture text example. This thing, that's when you buy this agricultural land. He should buy the kind you want. He has already applied for it. It means that it has already been certified. It's agricultural. Then after you come, you continue to use it for agricultural purposes. Then you can directly this concession for using this agricultural land. But in the future, friends will ask me, will this agricultural land be available in the future? Transition nature. Like this industrial site? Commercial land? Residential? Wait. In fact, in the United States, the nature of this transition channel is also open. But can it actually be transformed? Also following a development in this area. From the government's perspective, he wants more commercial land, or industrial land, or residential land. Because in this case, can the government collect more taxes? So if it's true, this area is mature, when there is more of this demand, from the government's point of view, he encourages development. But because the people who originally lived on this land may think some people don't want it. My city has developed so rapidly. It can be because of the people in the government. Was it also elected by the common people? So they will choose not to go. This advocates development. Management is government management, etc. So is he going to develop a place? Can we change the nature of the land? It's a combination of factors. What about buying agricultural land? Why are property taxes on agricultural land exempt? In fact, this is also related to the property tax in the United States. Is related
90% of U.S. property taxes.
It's this school used in the American community. What about this public school? As long as you rent a house in this place and buy a house, as long as you prove that you live here, your child can get it for free. Go to public schools in the area. Then you don't have to pay property tax on agricultural land. Just because it's on agricultural land. This part is awkward, since there are no people living there. So he doesn't have that many students need to go to school in this area. So he collected property taxes on agricultural land from his tax system. It's completely it works. Now this is what we want. Is this a newly built balcony? We will put the previous one. Their old one, that little balcony, we expanded. Well, after expanding, this balcony is really beautiful. It's not covered yet, but I can already imagine that after the cover is done, this house, will it be on this balcony? The second floor looked at our entire farm, especially this oak forest up ahead. I'm looking at the sunset in the west. Well, that would be really good. So are we inside and out now? What should be dismantled has been dismantled. What's supposed to be new outside is under construction. Where are we currently? Is it for the kitchen inside? Wait. Choose this countertop. Choose the ground and wait. What we're a little torn about is, what about the modern minimalist style of black or white more and gray? The traditional, more primitive ones. What about the natural wind of the farm logs? So this is what we're talking about. I'm looking forward to that too. Our farm, this house. What does it look like after repair? Then we're waiting for 2 months. By May, let's take a look again after the whole house is finished. What style will we ultimately choose? I'll take a video and share it with you then. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like my channel, remember to subscribe.